On today's episode of Inside the Cockpit, we have the Kabinenroller 200. And this is, of course, our pivot to cars away from aircraft. We're never doing aircraft again. What we have with the Kabinenroller is the next generation in Willy Messerschmitt's design work after the Second World War. And we are, of course, at the Messerschmitt Stiftung here and at the Airbus premises in Manching. Big thank you to them for giving us access. Now, what we're going to do is a walk around here, and then we're going to jump inside and check out the cockpit, the cabin thingy, what we have behind us. Up front, we have, of course, a number plate. We have no engine, because the engine's mounted in the back. This is actually where the driver's legs go and the pedals would be. We have the headlights and we have the side mirrors. And then we have these beautiful fairings in the Export Luxury Deluxe variant of the Kabinenroller 200 with the small front wheels. It is, in fact, a tricycle aircraft, sorry, not aircraft, a car with a turning radius of 9 meters, I have read. So small, but the turning radius is quite large. Up front, again, luxury version of the car, we have an electric wind wiper, which in the 1950s and 60s is the pure definition of luxury indeed. And in fact, between 1955 and 1964, more than 30,000, maybe even 40,000, depending on how you count the different variants of the Kabinenroller, were built. And they were highly successful because back then people didn't have that much money. This was very affordable, just what you needed to get your daily or your weekly shopping back home and to drive into the countryside, have a little picnic. This was perfect. And you can see why, because look at it. Towards the side then, the curb weight of this aircraft is 500 pounds. Very light machine indeed. And we also have opening windows, which can be retracted and extended or opened and closed, that's the word, manually. Moving further back, we have blinkers, as well as a filler cap for your fuel tank, 12.5 liter capacity, which is enough for around about 250 kilometers of empty roads. In the back, we also have this luxury luggage compartment where you place your luggage on top, you strap it down, and that's where that would go. Now in this rear compartment, we have the two-stroke Fichtel and Sachs engine. This engine produces a whopping 10.5 horsepower. You may say, that sounds diminutive. That doesn't sound like enough. But no, that propels this car to 50 kilometers an hour, even 60 kilometers an hour, I have read. And if that isn't enough, here's another sales pitch. This car took part in a 24-hour endurance speed race at the Hockenheimring, and it broke 22 international records in its class. 22. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now, coming then to the left-hand side of the car, we have, of course, the exact same layout, but we can open it up. So if we just switch the angle a little bit, I'm going to show you how we do that. We just open up the car. We open up the car. This makes me need a second. We opened up the car smoothly as butter. And we have the trademark right-hand side opening canopy of this Messerschmitt creation. And then we have the internal compartment in its luxury loadout with bright red leather. There's enough for 2 grown-ups or 3 passengers. Well, 2 grown-ups and 1 child. And behold, there's also a luggage compartment in here for storage space of around about 100 kilograms of luggage. Little compartment in here that can be used, as well as retractable seats. Well, will you look at that? And they really thought about this because as somebody's driving, somebody can be sitting on the left-hand side here, and then there's a small retracting seat here as well that can be used to place your luggage. Isn't that fantastic? They really thought this through and created a fantastic design here. In order to get in, we move the seat up for easy access to the driver's compartment. And then as we're inside, behold, we have to slide forward, and the suspension does a lot of dampening there and is really up to the task. And then, in order to close it up, we just close it like so, and then lock it in place. There we go. And we're ready for a road trip to a beautiful picnic in the German countryside. And I've got to tell you, the visibility in this aircraft is, the visibility in this car, especially to my 6, is absolutely brilliant. You have never experienced something like this. I honestly believe a car like this should come back. In today's market, it would absolutely boom. And it has a beautiful Messerschmitt logo as well on the driving handle, bicycle driving handle thingy. So yeah, now let's check out the inside for a little bit more detail. Right, we are inside the powerhouse that is the Kabinenroller. Let's check out this cockpit then. In terms of controls, it is relatively straightforward, but let's take a time to admire the all-round visibility on this aircraft, on this vehicle. No one is going to sneak up on our 6 here. On the flip side, it does feel like a greenhouse. First up, we of course have the mirrors to either side, and then on the left-hand side of the front dash, we have the choke to regulate the air-to-fuel ratio, then a light switch, and 2 visual indicators. The top blue one is for your high beam, and the lower one is for your left-hand indicator. To the right, a branded watch. Then we move all the way to the right. We start with the indicators again. Top red one is for your battery warning light, and the lower one is for your right-hand indicator. Then we have the wiper control with an integrated washer fluid release and an indicator switch, as well as the hazard light control. To the far right, in parallel to the pilot, we have the gear lever, as well as the idle release. And then just behind the controls, we have the parking light switch and the ignition key switch. Talking about the stick, well, the yoke, no, the steering wheel, you know what I mean. Curiously, instead of using pedals, this is how you steer the plane in the car in the yaw axis. The pedals, on the other hand, are for acceleration, which is a bit strange because usually you'd have the throttle controls mounted to your left. Then there is a clutch to change gears. That's a bit like switching to the supercharger. And then you have brakes, which are kind of the same thing. And that is it, the Kabinenroller 200. Big thank you here to the Messerschmitt Stiftung in Manching, Germany, and Airbus for allowing us access to this facility. As always, you can find all the information to the museum in the comments below. And this is your reminder to visit, well, the Messerschmitt Museum. But do check out for access limitations because it is only accessible via pre-sign-up on tours or any sort of other air museum in your area, because this is what keeps these places alive. Big thank you to all the supporters and of course you, the viewer. And as always, have a great day and see you in the sky. Well, or on the road in this case, yeah. This was weird. This was really weird. Kabinenroller.